Have a great day, everyone. So, our topic is all about public fiscal administration. Fiscal administration is the act of managing incoming and outgoing monetary transactions and budgets for governments, educational institutions, non-profit organizations, and other public service entities. And it is the fiscal administration structure, the top management level, the middle management level, and the lower rank and file. In Philippine Budgetary Process, Section 22, Article 7 of the 1987 Constitution sets the tone for the budgetary process. Under this article, the President submits to Congress within 30 days from the opening of every regular session a financial plan of the expenditures and sources of financing, including receipts from existing and proposed revenue measures as a basis for a general appropriations bill. In the five major phases in the budget process, budget preparation, budget authorization, budget review, budget execution, and budget accountability. 10 functions of local officials in fiscal administration. First, the local chief executive. He will execute and give directions and control. Second, local sanggunian. They will taxing authorities. They enact the policies implementing rules and regulations. And then the third one, composition of local finance cluster. Assessors, accountants, budget officers, treasurer, planning and development officers. The Department of Finance was established and the revolutionary government was founded in Naik, Cavite on March 17, 1897. And then in 1901, the Department of Finance and Justice was formally organized by virtue of an act passed by the Civil Service Commission. It was headed by William Howard Taft. And then in 1916, the Philippines legislature, the Department of Finance and Justice was split into two independent departments. And in 1936, the odd functions relative to the formulation and preparation of the government's budget were transferred to the newly created Budget Commission. So it's the fiscal policy. It refers to the measures employed by governments to stabilize the economy, especially by manipulating the levels and allocations of taxes and government's expenditures. Fiscal measures are frequently used in tandem with monetary policy to achieve a certain goal. Principals agency tasked with fiscal functions. First, the Congress, the lower house. It is responsible for revenue expenditures policy. Aside from having its concurrence in every bill in order to be passed for the President's signature to become a law, the House of Representatives has the power to impeach certain officials, and all many bills must originate from the lower house. Second, the Department of Finance. Its function is to revenue generation and collection, fund custody, disbursement, and keeping of accounts.
Bureau of Internal Revenue mandate comprehend the assessment and collection of all national internal revenue taxes, fees and charges and the enforcement of all forfeitures, penalties and fines connected therewith, including the execution of judgments in all cases decided in its favor by the Court of Tax Appeals and the ordinary courts. So there are the management of the committees. Bureau of Customs functions: the prevention and suppression of smuggling and other frauds upon the customs, the supervision and control over the entrance and clearance of vessels and aircraft engaged in foreign commerce, the enforcement of the tariff and customs laws and all other laws, rules, and regulations relating to the tariff and customs administration, the supervision and control over the handling of foreign mails arriving in the Philippines for the purpose of the collection of the lawful duty on the dutiable articles thus imported and the prevention of smuggling through the medium of such mails. Bureau of the Treasury: Rosalia B. De Leon, Treasurer of the Philippine Mandate under Executive Order Number 449. Assessed in the formulation of policies in borrowing, investment and capital market development. Formulate adequate operation guidelines for fiscal and financial policies. assessed in the preparation of by the government agencies concerned as of an annual program for revenue and expenditure targets, borrowing levels and cash balances of the national government, act as principal custodian of financial assets of the national government, its agencies and instrumentalities. Department of Budget and Management. Review of estimates and fiscal policy studies in close consultation with National Economic Development Authority. Accountable for carrying out the President's responsibility of preparing the budget. Formulate and implement the national budget and ensuring the efficient and sound utilization of government resources to achieve the country's development objectives. Commission of Audit conducts funds and performance audit to see it that expenditures are in accordance with the appropriation law approved. Promulgate accounting and auditing rules and regulations, including those for the prevention and disallowance of irregular, unnecessary, excessive, extravagant, or unconscionable expenditures or uses of government funds and properties. Submit annual reports to the President and the Congress of the financial condition and operation of the government. National Economic and Development Authority provides high-level advice to policymakers in Congress and executive branch. Review, evaluation, and monitoring of infrastructure projects identified under the Comprehensive and Integrated Infrastructure Program or CIP, consistent with the government's thrust of increasing investment spending for the growing demand on quality infrastructure facilities. Undertaking of short-term policy reviews to provide critical analysis and development issues and policy alternatives to decision makers. Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Responsibilities. The BSP provides policy directions in the areas of money, banking, and credit. It supervises operation of banks and exercises regulatory powers over non-bank financial institutions with quasi-banking functions. The BSP formulates and implements monetary policy aimed at influencing money supply consistent with its primary objective to maintain price stability. The BSP has the exclusive power to issue the national currency. All notes and coins issued by the BSP are fully guaranteed by the government and are considered legal tender for all private and public debts. External forces. A. International Monetary Fund. Ensure the stability of the international monetary system. Provide loans to member countries experiencing actual or potential balance of payments problems. 6. To build on synergies between the technical assistance and training to maximize their effectiveness. B. The World Bank strengthens public financial management, improves fiscal transparency and financial accountability, and support greater citizen demand for government accountability. The most recent project approved by the World Bank Board of Executive Directors is the Metro Manila Bus Rapid Transit Project. The bank is working with the new government in the preparation of projects in the areas of climate change, Metro Manila flood management, governance, e-government transformation and customs and trade modernization, agriculture, inclusive partnership for agricultural competitiveness, and policy-based lending fiscal transparency or DPL. C. Asian Development Bank. ADB aims to focus support in the areas of sustainable and climate-resilient infrastructure, good governance and finance, employment and education, and regional integration. Future ADB assistance to the Philippines will be closely aligned with the long-term vision of the Philippines toward 2040 ambition natin 2040, as well as the Philippine Development Plan for 2017 to 2022 by the National Economic and Development Authority. ADB is one of the country's largest sources of official development assistance, with average annual lending of 745 million in the past 10 years. Development Budget Coordination Committee. The DBCC was created on May 14, 1970 through the Executive Order No. 232 creating the Presidential Development Budget Committee or PDBC. Later, on March 1, 1972, the Integrated Reorganization Plan renamed the PDBC to its current appellation and attached it to the NEDA. In the same year, on September 22, Presidential Decree or PD number 136 was issued to recognize the NEDA, including the DBCC to its composition today.